Hello, good morning to all dear students and colleagues and my friends. I am Rakesh Rambho Avari. I am junior college teacher teaching subject physics at Yashwantrao Shinde Junior College, Bhadravati. Today, before starting the actual topic in physics, we must know about the syllabus given by the state board. This year, that means the academic session 2020-2021, the 12th class physics syllabus is revised by the Maharashtra State Board of Secondary and Higher Secondary, Pune. This year's syllabus is prepared and published by the Maharashtra State Board, and this year's syllabus includes nearly 16 chapters, and these 16 chapters are divided into 6 units. These 16 chapters are divided into 16 units according to the different branches in physics. Now, I don't know the actual names of the topics or the chapters, so I will read those names of the chapters given in the syllabus. So, there are 16 chapters, and the chapter number 1 is Rotational Dynamics. Number 2, Mechanical Properties of Fluids. Number 3, Kinetic Theory of Gases and Radiation. Number 4, Thermodynamics. Number 5, Oscillations. Number 6, Superposition of Waves. Number 7, Wave Optics. Number 8, Electrostatics. Number 9, Current Electricity. Number 10, Magnetic Fields due to electric current. 11, Magnetic Materials. Number 12, Electromagnetic Induction. 13, AC Circuits. Number 14, Dual Nature of Particles and Waves. 15, Structure of Atoms and Nuclei. 16, Semiconductor Devices. So these are all 16 chapters, and all these 16 chapters are divided into given 6 units according to their different branches. So we have seen the sequence of the 16 chapters, and there are 6 units. The first 2 chapters are taken in the first unit. Next 2 chapters are in second unit. Then next 3 chapters are taken in third unit. Again, next 2 chapters are in fourth unit. Next 4 chapters are in fifth unit, and the remaining 3 chapters are in 6th unit. So this is important that we must know about the syllabus of the 12th class physics before starting the actual topics, and if we don't know the syllabus, we can't start our syllabus, or our preparation will not be on way or correct way. So there will be a time spending without knowing our syllabus. So we have seen about the 12th class syllabus. Now, the subject physics is evaluated for 100 marks. We will see about the examination pattern, board pattern. These 100 marks are divided into 2 groups. $70 marks theory paper and 30 marks practical examination. The 70 marks theory paper will be same as that of the last year pattern, and the 30 marks practical examination may be there some changes, and that changes will come soon through the board's meetings. That means the district wise board meetings whenever will held, at that time we get that information. So this is all about our syllabus, 12th class syllabus. Now we will see briefly the first topic in the syllabus, and we know the first topic in the syllabus is the rotational dynamics. So rotational dynamics, this is the first topic, and in this topic there are number of subtopics that we will study. So before starting these topics, we must know the last year topics which were present in circular motion, rotational motion. So we must remember some basic topics from circular motion which we have studied in the last year, that means the 11th class, and these topics are circular motion. So what do you mean by the circular motion? What are the types of the circular motion, and what are the applications and origins? Similarly, the center of mass of the bodies. The bodies may be regular or irregular bodies. We must know the concept of center of mass before studying the rotational dynamics. Then we have seen kinematical equations in the linear motion as well as in the circular motion. So we must know the kinematical equations. And lastly, we must know about the real forces and pseudo. Pseudo means false forces or fictitious forces, mysterious forces. So all this information we have studied in the last year. So we will I will introduce those things before starting the next topics given in the rotational dynamics. So we know the circular motion. In our daily life, we observe lots of motion which are circular. So while explaining the circular motion, we must know about the circle. And circle has circumference. Circle has its center. So we know about the circle. It has circumference and center. So circumference means it is the path, that is the circular path. So whenever a body or object moves along this circular path named as the circumference. So when a body or object moves along this circumference, the motion of the body is said to be a circular motion. So this is the circular motion, and there are many examples of circular motion. The basic and very familiar example of the circular motion is the motion of the moon, which is the natural satellite of the earth, moon, which revolves or circulates around the earth in a certain specific orbit. So motion of the moon is one of the example of the circular motion. So there are so many examples we can consider or we can tell. The another example of the circular motion is the electrons moves around the nucleus. So we know the elements, and elements consists number of atoms, and in a single atom there is a central core called as the nucleus, and about this nucleus there are so many electrons which revolves around the nucleus. If we consider single electron, this electron revolves around the nucleus in a certain orbit. So motion of the electrons are circular motion. Then we can construct such a number of circular motions in our daily life, or we have seen, we come across a number of circular motions. So there are lots of circular motion in nature are happening. So all these circular motions are divided into basically two groups. First type of group is uniform circular motion, and second type of circular motion is non-uniform circular motion. So uniform circular motion means those circular motions in which the particles or bodies or objects which are circulating will have constant speed. Such types of the circular motions are named as uniform circular motion. So what do you mean by the uniform circular motion? Those motions of the particle, those circular motions of particles which has constant speed. The speed may be linear speed or angular speed. So both these speed may be constant or should be constant in that circular motion. Only then the circular motions are uniform. So now the examples of the uniform circular motions. So just before we have seen the examples for circular motions, and that were the motion of moon, motion of electron are uniform circular motion. So these are the two very familiar examples for the uniform circular motion. And next type of the circular motion is non-uniform circular motion. In non-uniform circular motion, the speed of the body or particle doesn't remain constant, it changes with time. Means non-uniform circular motion are those circular motions in which speed are not constant, they are changing with the time. Now we can explain with the example. When we switch on the fan, electric fan, or switch off, so initially it starts moving, the blades of the fan starts moving, starts rotating. So while rotating the blades, the tip of the blades will perform circular motion. So when we switch on the fan, the tip of the blade will move with increasing speed. Linear speed or angular speed will go on increasing with the time initially before reaching at the maximum speed. So as soon as the fan switch on, it will start moving with increasing speed before reaching to the maximum speed. So within these intervals, the motion of the tip of the blades of the fan is non-uniform. So this is the one of the example of the non-uniform circular motion. The another example of the circular motion which is the non-uniform is the vertical circular motion of a particle which is tied through a string and whirled in vertical plane under the gravity. So whenever a body is tied to a string and hold in hand and allow this body to circulate in vertical circular plane or vertical plane under the gravity, so we will observe that the motion now which is happening under the gravity will be a non-uniform circular motion. So these are the basic types of the circular motion. First is the uniform and second is the non-uniform circular motion. Now there are so many types or number of examples. Now let's see the next term, center of mass of the body, which may be regular or irregular in nature. But what is the concept of center of mass? We know the number of bodies are regular in nature, such as the square box or named as the cube. It has a geometrical center point, or circular ring. It has also geometrical center. A circular disc. It has also a geometrical center position. So all these bodies has its own geometrical center. So these geometrical centers can be considered a point where the total mass of such bodies can be imagined, or concentrated total mass of the bodies, such bodies may be concentrated or can be considered as concentrated at these geometrical centers or points. Such points of the bodies, those are regular in nature. Such points means geometrical centers are considered as center of mass. So, have you understood about the center of mass? Center of mass means those internal points of the object or bodies where the whole mass of the body is supposed to be concentrated. In real life, it is not concentrated at that position, but we have to imagine or assume that the whole mass of the body is supposed to be concentrated at the position, at a certain position. That position is named as the center of mass. Actually, the mass of the body is widely distributed in its volume or space, or the space where the total mass of that body is placed or concentrated. But we can imagine that total mass which is spread over the complete space or volume of the body, that complete mass we can imagine to be concentrated at a single point or position. That position or single point where the total mass of the body is supposed to be concentrated is called as center of mass. So whenever we apply some force on a certain body, and that force has a line of action, that means called as the direction of the force, or the line of action of the force, when passes through the center of mass of the body. When we apply some force on a certain body, and while applying that force on the body, the line of action of the force is suppose passing through the center of mass, then the body will accelerate along the straight line. The body will accelerate along the straight line. That means it will perform a straight line motion along the straight line without any rotation or rotational motion. So body will perform only linear motion. Whenever we apply a force in such a way that the line of action of the force is passing through the center of mass of the body. When it passes through the center of mass of the body, then body will perform only linear motion without performing rotational or other types of the motion. Okay. So this is the very simple concept of the center of mass. It is an imaginary concept. It is not a real concept. It is an imaginary concept of the body, that is the center of mass. point, that means the imaginary point inside the body where the total mass of the body is supposed to be concentrated. So this concept is considered because of the motion of the body can be studied according to the Newton's laws of motions. We know there are three Newton's laws of the motion: first law, second law and the third law. We will not see here, but there are three laws of motion, Newton's laws of motion. If we have to study the Newton's laws of motion or the body motion according to the Newton's laws, at that time we must consider the concept of center of mass. Then next topic is kinematical equations. Last year we have seen kinematical equations. There are three kinematical equations, and all these kinematical equations are related to the linear motions, and those kinematical equations generalize similarly applied to the another motion, that means the circular motion. So three kinematical equations in the linear motions as well as the circular motions we have seen last time. So what is the first kinematical equation? We know the first kinematical equation is V is equal to U plus AT. We know the meaning of V. V means final velocity, U means initial velocity, and T means time. Second kinematical equation is S is equal to ut plus half at square. And the last third kinematical equation is V square is equal to U square plus twice AS. So in all these three kinematical equations there are some symbols which has usual meanings, such as U initial velocity, V final velocity, A acceleration of the particle or body in linear motion, S displacement, T time. So all these three equations similarly written for circular motions. So there are also three kinematical equations in circular motions with the help of the similar physical quantities. With the help of the similar physical quantity. As we know, in the linear motion there are linear velocity, initial and final, linear acceleration, linear displacement. Similarly, in the circular motion there are analogous physical quantities or similar physical quantity as like in the linear motion. As in the linear motion there is linear velocity. Similarly, in the circular motion there is angular velocity. In linear motion there is linear displacement. In circular motion there is angular displacement. In linear motion there is linear acceleration. In circular motion there is angular acceleration. So considering these similar physical quantities, we can write similar three kinematical equations for circular motion. And the last, real forces and pseudo forces. So in nature there are two types of the forces. One type is the real force or forces. Second type is pseudo forces. So real forces means are those forces which are produced in nature due to known interactions. Known interactions such as the gravitational interaction, electromagnetic interactions, electrostatic interactions are known interactions, and these interactions generates related forces in nature, and the forces generated by all these interactions are known as the real forces. Or when there is direct contact between the different things, and due to this direct contact, one thing exerts force on another thing. At the same time, another thing will exert reaction on the first thing. So due to the physical contact between these two things or bodies, those bodies will exert forces, mutual forces on each other and produces real forces. Such forces are known as real forces in nature. But in nature, some forces are created, and those forces are not due to the known interactions. They are produced by the situations or the motion of the body, like accelerated motion. So those forces in nature which are not due to the known interactions, but they are produced due to the accelerated motions or the situations like accelerations. Such types of the forces are known as the pseudo or not real forces. So whenever we move in a car, and when car takes sudden curve motion, at the same time the passengers in the car or we persons experience a outward force, radially outward force while moving along the circular track. The passenger seated in the car experiences radially outward force. This radially outward force has no real origin, how it acts on the passengers which are seated in the car, which is moving along the circular curve or path. So this is a pseudo force. It is not a real force. When the car takes sudden curve or circular motion, and we know the circular motion is an accelerated motion. So motion is accelerated. So situation generated here that whenever we move in accelerated motion, the bodies or persons will experience a force which is not real. Such force is called as pseudo force. So this is the basic introduction part before starting the first chapter, rotational dynamics. So this is all about today's topic, and next time we will see about the actual topics starting from rotational dynamics up to the last topic, that is we know last time we have discussed about all the names of the topics or chapters. So this is all about the today's topic. Now we will see next. Thank you all dear friends.